That was a little tune that I like to call New Year's Eve's Dreams. It's gonna be on a new album coming out by Mayree 2019.
KDVS Davis 90.3. This is live in Studio A. We're live in studio with Mayree. Hi, how are you doing today?
Hello.
Thank you for coming down.
Absolutely. I'm really glad that I did.
And for the viewers out there, it's actually 11 p.m., which we usually don't do, but had to make a big exception for Hannah. And yes, I mean, we're all here together. You haven't performed your set yet, but you will. It's going to be live. What music do you have prepared for today?
I have some original music here, some banjo compositions that I've crafted over the last few years. A lot in my travels and a lot in a lot of wilderness and a lot of time that I've spent healing, because this is a really intense world that we live in, and I really think that for me personally, I have to use music, I have to use tools to get through and to be able to have strength to do things that are meaningful and helpful to our situations. I changed my mind. I was going to play another song, but sometimes you write songs and they're just really appropriate for you at different times of your life down the line. It's kind of interesting like that.
How would you define your music as a genre? Or in a genre? Would you even categorize it in a genre?
I definitely consider what I do folk music. I think that folk music is music that is for the people, by the people. It's music that is accessible to people. Um, I I spent a lot of time playing without amplification, so it's just in the last few years of performing and whatnot have I plugged in and dealt with mics and whatnot, and so yeah, it's a pretty down home feel. I have a new album that's going to be coming out this year that definitely spans across genres, variations on folk, sort of rock, alternative, like indie folk, even indie pop, even just yeah, lots of different sort of ways that it can be described, but um, I think it's music that's accessible to people, whether they have like trained in music or whether they're just like feeling music or however their relationship. And a lot of the time in my live shows I do a lot of like live group singing where we get a chance to just participate in that in community together, which is really fun. So this is Hannah Mayree on KDVS. That would be 90.3 Davis, Sacramento. Just doing a plug for my favorite radio station in this area. So shout outs to the station I'm on. I felt like I'd been here before, but I actually hadn't. I just listened to the radio station so much that I thought I'd been here before. Can you believe that? I guess I'm gonna play a couple more tunes. Just want to give a little shout out to a few things here. One is the root to the banjo. I'll give a shout out to the ancestors that have brought the banjo on a diasporic journey all the way to where I'm sitting right now, all the way from Africa and with influences from Europe. I could say the same for myself. I would like to thank the land and the people who have been the stewards of this land. I know that Miwok means people. I don't know the name of the people, but I want to think of them and honor the indigenous people of this land right now. And I want to shout out to all the listeners and to all my friends and acquaintances and community members who are in Sacramento and Davis in this area, because this is my home area, not Davis particularly, but this is my home sweet area, and I just want to shout out to everybody who knows me and loves me and everyone who's listening and supporting and hopefully taking care of themselves and having a good Saturday night. helplessness, never breaking the light on the screen, and feeding myself into helplessness is something someone once showed me, and I want everything that's been given and taken from me. Well, it's sure a fight that we're winning when the prize is just to be, just to be. There are faces I've dreamed of this morning, and maybe they're thinking of me. They poke and they ride, and they're never surprised when there are such blissful memories. My parents will say they remember about planting that tiny old tree, the one that's 30 feet tall now, the one that I never see. Because I'm so far away now, and the street that I lived on is still there, resting its bones on the pavement, and it never really cared, really cared. The perfect is in imperfection, and the truth will always be real. Fell from my feet to the graveyard beneath, and my body will love it down there, love it down there.
Do you have any musical aspirations or even heroes that affect your music in a big way?
Definitely. Yeah, there's so many. Definitely my mom is an inspiration to me. We were just having some birthday dinner with her tonight.
What's her birthday?
Yeah,
Oh my
happy
gosh, happy birthday. That's amazing.
Mom. What's up? It's your birthday month. She plays a lot of classical music. There's just been so much music across time. I like to listen to a lot of world music, and that's one of the aspects about the banjo that I really like, is that it has roots in Africa and is an African diasporic instrument. So it's really, I've been really enjoying listening to a lot of like the African lutes and harps and then, yeah, just folk music from all over the world, really.
It's awesome. I love African music too. I'm actually in a class right now learning about African royal drumming. It's very interesting because I don't know, they have to be in the line of royalty in order to play that music. I think it's called jelly. I think that's what it's. I think it's something like that. Yeah, but it's really beautiful music, and I really appreciate everything that comes out of the drum.
So the banjo is a diasporic African instrument that has made it here all the way to the KDVS studios and to many parts of the world. I just want to let people know about a really amazing opportunity. I part of a group of folks who is focusing a lot on cultural and land reclamation in the Black community, pretty much worldwide, nationwide, statewide, West Coast centered, and as we do have a very specific situation, being West Coast black folks, I'm a mixed race black person myself, um, and in fact, I started this just for myself because I was like, I do all this tuning. Somebody might as well just give me another banjo so I don't have to do all this. And, that turned one thing led to another, and ended up starting this Black Banjo Reclamation Project where folks have been realizing, hey, you know what? I have a banjo. It's just sitting around. And plus, like there's so much, there's a lot of the story of oppression of black people that is sort of embedded in the banjo's history that really we saw it as an opportunity for cultural reparations. So folks, mostly white folks have actually been donating banjos, and the banjos are being redistributed to black folks, people of the African diaspora, to reconnect with this part of our culture that has not been widely accessible. I know that it wasn't for me. And just to give people more options for expression and to learn about more of our history. So Black History Month is coming up, so we are going to be keeping it rocking. We're going to keep it going. So if anybody has questions about that, just let me know. Shoot me a DM, Hannah Mayree, or we've also got Reverse the Diaspora on Instagram. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Man, there's so many songs I want to play. I might have to add another one to the list just because. Because it reminds me of this one time. It reminds me of this time that I was at the farmer's market in Davis. And then I met this guy and he started telling me about his life and stuff. And I was like, this song isn't, I don't really write songs specifically about like a single human other than myself. But there's definitely pieces of like people and things that have been brought to me. So this one's for the random people that you meet in life and you hang out with them and you just like see what's up and you're like, hey, let's go on an adventure.
Jump right in. I'm Tania. Hello from programming, but I'm here in live in Studio A. Thanks for having me, Noelle. Great to see you, Hannah. I just wanted to ask what your songwriting process is like. You mentioned that you write to heal and to kind of like continue in your journey. So can you give us a sneak peek what a session looks like for you?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of it for me happens kind of like around this hour of the night, sort of, or really whenever. I think a lot of it is that I just sort of, I think for any of our healing process, we kind of have to make a container for that or make a space for it, because whenever we're like running around and doing all of these things, and it's hard to slow down and just like take time for ourselves. So, yeah, I like to spend time trying to decompress, because I know like myself and so many of us, like, we try to fit a lot into the day. But it's definitely like the times when I can kind of step out of that and make some intentional space that I can sit down or just let ideas kind of flow through, maybe like spark up a J or whatever. And just sing and sort of, I have a lot of time where I spend just with plants and animals, so that's a lot of time I just sing to them.
Do you see the Black Banjo Reclamation Project as you facilitating other people's healing journey? And can you talk to us a little bit more about the Black Banjo Reclamation Project?
Definitely, yeah. I think that it speaks a lot to the intergenerational and historical traumas of Black folks. So I definitely see, I see myself facilitating that in myself. And really the project is there just to provide access and to provide resources because, as we've kind of seen with other genres of music that have come from African Americans, like upon being here on Turtle Island, like jazz and a lot of just rock and roll, all of these things, and so really like I see the banjo as kind of wide open for that in the modern age. It's kind of like right now I think it's great to what I really enjoy is like honoring the music that has actually been passed down and preserved as far as like the folk traditions that come out of Appalachia in the South. And like I really honor that, and I also like a lot of what I do is like original banjo music that is informed and inspired by and comes from in the tradition of that same music. So I think that it's an instrument that comes from African and European descent, but a lot of the African roots of it have sort of been denied and not acknowledged. So really, I do feel that it is here for Black folks who want to expand on that narrative, really. I got another one. I'm excited for this one because now I don't normally do this just for the okay, I mean, I do it for the hell of it, but I will say KDVS does not represent the university or any of the views, so I can say basically whatever I want, basically. And I did actually make a song that says a couple swear words in it, How can you blame me? I'm really like pretty PG, except for sometimes, so I have the opportunity to say the F word on the radio right now. So I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna play a couple more songs for y'all. Let's see. How's this one go? I am seeing a reflection of my life and of my fears, and my judgment is telling me to conquer these things that give me worry and things that give me hope. And at the end of the day, what seems like a joke is rattling the walls down, making sure they all fall down, and the trees still stand. Outlive the wall. Some of us are here now and some of us are gone. Remembering our loved ones, bring these patterns to a halt. Not to underestimate the strength of love. It illuminates our essence and it glorifies our hugs. We walk around in vacuums of mass media and hate. people and try to relate, because we don't all have all the things and the world is torn by war. Let's be real and give our lives to achieve the real wars. It doesn't look like money and it fills all of our needs. To be living with compassion, I want a utopian dream. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate sarcasm because it's so fucking abstract. I don't know what to take seriously. Being blunt is better than that. So fuck this colonized system. Work doesn't make us free. Let's reappropriate taxes and override this fucking fascist regime. This society's got us straddling between our wants and our needs and desires. We must pay the price. We all need to be free. Well, this world is a goddamn paradox of unsuspecting souls. Some of us are brainwashed, and some are dedicated to the cause. Some of us are stuck in limbo of doing what we need to support our forced survival in this system based on greed. The thing I want to say now is that music makes me feel. It makes me feel all kinds of things. I'm glad we're all here.
I'm thinking about like your parents and how your mom's a violinist and then your dad's like a journalist, I think. And one of them is kind of posed as like a rational person and the other is more like artistic and emotional. But it seems like your music kind of transcends that. So how do you see your music and your performance helping folks critically engage in like binary thinking and what the binary means?
I think that's a great question. Yeah, I think that I would really answer that question even just by saying that in terms of what I do here, I don't even consider it performance. I just consider it being vulnerable and sharing something. So I really think that like even in terms of how we interact as like audience members or like just community members or like people, you know, it's like being able to have a little bit of a more level playing field to interact and actually make connections. Yeah, it's something that I bring into question as far as like just inviting participation and, you know, like basically just being able to step back and, you know, how y'all are giving me a platform here. It's like that's a way to step back and make space for other people to come in and just do whatever it is that they do. Yeah, and like just expand the narrative to be collaborative and still have a lot of different forms of leadership, but that we even in a very in the context of just artists and musicians and whatnot, that there's a lot of different aspects of things that people do. There's a lot of different things that I do in my life, and so I sort of use music as a platform to just continue doing what I'm doing. So it's like it's very layered and complex. So I know that everybody's story is layered in these very similar ways. Yeah, stories.
Thank you. It's just storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for telling your story here at KDVS. We're very much so looking forward to your set. You can catch it on the YouTube channel, KDVS. Just look it up on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, Hannah. And yes, this is Live in Studio A with all of us here.
Thank you. KDVS rocks.
Yay.
Better than NPR. Quote. Quoted.
I just really want to thank the Live in the Studio A crew, the team out here that is straight up holding it down. They've been doing this for a minute. They're just badass. And I really want to support the arts and the music that's going on here in Davis. I know it's really challenging, y'all. Like things are real, and I just also want to say if you happen to have a space that holds a lot of people and you can't hear it from the street, just call this radio station and set up some house shows, because Lord knows that the folks here are just trying to express themselves, all kinds of artists, like all kinds of rad people here. So, it's just time to be creative. Like, whoever's got it going on, offer that up. I know everybody's doing their best, so thank you for all the people who are holding that space. And feel free to hit me up. I'll come and play at your house show. I've done a few at the co-ops and what in the past. But yeah, I mean, like the down home vibe, the house show vibe is always really rocking and always brings out a great crowd and is really like the roots of culture as young people today. So we need to keep that alive and have all ages spaces in Davis. So yeah, thanks for everybody holding it down. I'm Hannah Mayree. Look out for, everything that I'm doing in collaboration with all these awesome people. I just have one more song for y'all, and I just want to say, we need to push ourselves to have a more just society, and I know that so many people are, and we have to continue to be creative and be hands-on and be on the ground and be willing to do anything that we can. And this is like the fun part for me. Like this is the part where I just like sing songs, and like all the other stuff that I do is just like not this glamorous, and it's really actually like the meat of it. But I like this part, and this part kind of ties it all together and is still like really inviting the community in. And this song, I just want to invite anybody, whether you're like just listening or whatever, just to sing. Personally, I sing with the radio all the time, and especially if you're by yourself, it's like no one can even see you. And like I'm actually, I'm proud of you for singing and just like opening up that piece of yourself, because we have to be brave in this world, and so singing kind of helps us do that, and it also helps us communicate with each other and with ourselves and like with spirit. So right now we're just gonna have a little bit of sing along when we do this song. I think I'm just gonna put my little capo on here. And if you have any instrument donations, really anything of the African diaspora, anything that's like djembes, kalimbas, just any instrument that's really like coming from Africa. A lot of like African American folks have not, we haven't even had the opportunity to like have that connection with our culture. So if you have any of that and you're holding on to it, seriously, feel free to return it to who it belongs to and help this cultural reclamation, because we support this in all cultures. And if there's anything I can do for anyone's culture, including my own, then like, this is it, and a lot of what we're doing. So hit me up if you have a banjo to donate. We'll come pick it up. Hell, just drop it off at KDVS or something. We'll figure it out. Here's the shower song. This is the part. It's like, okay, we'll come back to it. I took a shower, a shower, a shower. I took a shower outside. I sat for hours, for hours. I sat for hours inside, while ground turned to flowers, to flowers, to flowers. Ground turned to flowers, and they raced for the sky. Trapped in a tower, a tower, a tower. Trapped in a tower, she wanted to die. Time was devoured, devoured, devoured. My life was devoured, and I didn't ask why. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you for everyone who has played a part in making this happen.